Hello everyone. I'm Tejaswini. I'm a third year law student at Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai. And today, for millions of students in India, one exam can decide years of hard work. But when that exam itself comes under question, it shakes the confidence of an entire generation. The recent controversy surrounding the NEET UG has sparked a nationwide debate. Is the problem just about paper leaks? Is it about the education minister, or is there something much deeper that's broken? To help us understand these questions, we have with us advocate Vedant Vaishali Jayant Mainkar, a practicing advocate and alumnus of MNL Mumbai, an RP activist, and also a teacher. So let's hear his perspective on where India's examination system stands today and where it needs to go. So welcome, Mr. Mainkar. My first question to you would be that could you explain what NEET UG is and why is it one of India's most significant examinations?
So NEET UG exam is particularly for the medical entrance exam. It is for the undergraduate courses. It becomes one of the very important exams because around 22 lakh students take this exam annually, which forms the actual base of our healthcare system also. So you can imagine the number of competitions which we are having with around 22 lakh students giving this exam,
Correct, correct.
and around government seats are around 65,000 only.
True. And what is the National Testing Agency, the NTA, and why has it become the focus of so much public debate in recent years?
Yes, I think this I would like to take the answer in a very detailed manner. See, understand, let's try to understand. Initially, before 2017, the CBSE used to conduct the entrance examination, which was again not acceptable. Why should
Correct.
CBSE conduct such entrance examinations? Right. So 2017 in the union budget, the approval was given, and the Prime Minister with the cabinet
Hmm.
approved that a National Testing Agency (NTA) will be formed as a
Hmm.
premier institution for conducting examination, and this
Hmm.
was given a nature as a registered society under the Societies Act of 1860.
Correct.
Understand? So this is
Yes.
not a agency which is formulated by the act of the parliament, or it
Hmm.
is not a agency which is formulated by the constitution, but it is just
Hmm.
a cabinet's approval, and it is the nature of this organization is a registered society. This is the
Hmm.
first take which I want to highlight, which is being missed by a lot of mainstream media.
Correct.
Taking this NT was entrusted with the responsibility to conduct examinations of various courses.
Hmm.
Not only have exams for NEET, but also it conducts exams for, say, UGC-NET,
Hmm.
CUET, and many other.
Hmm.
As per the notification on the government website, we see that the NTA is going to impact around 40 lakh students. This I'm talking about 2017 data. Now I'm
Hmm.
sure it would have increased to around 60 lakhs number of
Hmm.
students, and the new exams which the NTA is conducting. This is my second point. So NTA
Hmm.
is an agency functioning within the Ministry of Education. Okay. But
Hmm.
this is not a statutory body. This is not a constitutional body. Again and again, why I'm highlighting this? Because when a body is a statutory body, or when a body is a constitutional body, it is mandated to be accountable to the parliament annually,
Correct.
and
Correct.
mandated to a mandated CAG, that is Comptroller Auditor General Accounts, is there. It is a
Hmm.
mandate. It is not a discretion. So you are constantly on the vigilance of the parliament.
Hmm.
Now, the third point which I want to highlight for the National Testing Agency is that very handful number of people are actually deputed in this agency. So there is no as such staff or a team working. It is just that they are working on a contractual basis with different private vendors. Understand this.
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
is how, when we engage with the private vendors, understand, when we engage with private vendors, it may be a case that there might, in the chain of engaging with private vendors, for example, printing the papers, for example, getting the question papers translated into other languages. When a
Hmm.
third party is getting involved in this, there may be a chances that there may be a leak in this. Okay. So heavy reliance upon the private vendors is one of the other points which the NTA is facing currently.
Hmm. Correct. Also, many people are demanding the resignation of Union Education Minister, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan. And also, the Prime Minister has recently announced that the government will bring a new bill to strengthen action against paper leaks, including fast-track courts and stricter punishments. So, do you really think that stronger criminal laws or someone's resignation is enough, or do we also need structural reforms in institutions like the NTA and also in the system?
Talking about the political resignation of Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, it is a political accountability matter. And
Hmm.
I'm in full support that the political accountability should be taken and Mr. Pradhan should resign. As this is
Hmm.
not the first time this has happened. Back in 2024, we have also seen the NEET controversy, where the controversy was about the grace marks, if you remember.
Hmm.
So this comes to the political accountability point of view, and we have a very brilliant example how our then railway minister, Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri, resigned due
Hmm.
to an accident which took place in Tamil Nadu back then,
Hmm.
and he showed his political accountability and moral responsibility. But with that
Hmm.
said, political accountability and moral responsibility does not change your systemic responsibility. Understand this. People will come and go, like how Atal Bihari Vajpayee said, "पार्टियां आएंगे जाएंगे, but ये देश रहना चाहिए." So मंत्री लोग आएंगे जाएंगे, इस्तीफे होंगे नहीं होंगे. But if your structure is in a way which is allowing the paper leakage, then any minister come, any government come, it will not have any difference.
Correct.
So systemic change is very important, and that
Hmm.
first systemic change is about the NTA's accountability. Second point is NTA should be empowered to have penal act to conduct penal actions, and some uh, penal provisions should be there which the NTA should be empowered with, so that they can take actions.
Hmm.
Right now, it is just a structured agency and under the Societies Act with no power. Uh,
Hmm.
the qualifications, the appointment procedures, everything is on discretion.
Correct.
And it is famously said that wherever there is discretion, there is arbitrariness. And then wherever there is arbitrariness, there is violation of equality. I think this is how what is happening. Just on discretionary basis, we are appointing XYZ person, say as the member and as the chairperson, whatever. If we see right now who the people who have been caught in the entire paper leak also are the people who are in the NTA. Now, why this is happening? Because it is just discretionary appointment.
Hmm.
So this discretionary appointment should stop. A proper procedural appointment should come, because we are playing with the lives of around 50 lakh people in this.
Correct.
So it cannot be so randomly done.
Hmm. Also, the UPSC is often regarded as the modern institution for conducting examinations. So, what lessons can the NTA learn from the UPSC's institutional framework, according to you?
UPSC, it is a completely different board game, because UPSC is a constitutional body.
Correct.
Okay. The very establishment of a UPSC commission is in the constitution. The accountability, the appointment, who will appoint the UPSC members, the chairperson, everything is extensively mentioned in the constitution itself. And they are
Hmm.
mandated to file annual reports in the parliament. Proper CAG audits are done. It is mandatory. So
Hmm.
I think accountability perspective, we should definitely learn from this UPSC.
Hmm. Also, if you had the opportunity to recommend reforms to the government, what would be your priorities to restore public confidence in the current examination system?
Right. Right now, the public confidence, our honorable Prime Minister has announced the fast track courts and the
Hmm.
penal actions and all. But I
Correct.
believe a reformative justice and the rehabilitative justice needs to be there, where
Hmm.
we have to ensure that the paper leakage is actually giving mental agony to the students. It is
Hmm.
giving mental trauma to the students. Just because of a systemic
Correct.
failure, the government one day comes and says that tomorrow we will have, not literally, but next time we'll have a re-exam. This is just an
Hmm.
administrative order which they may pass, but for people, for students who are preparing for these examinations for days and nights for years together, it is a trauma.
Hmm.
It's a mental health
Correct.
crisis then for the students. So I believe on this grounds, the laws should be framed, how the compensation will work, how it will be ensured that the mental well-being of a student is given priority, and then the
Hmm.
penal actions. Now,
Correct.
coming to the fast track courts, again, it's a good idea, but then my point is, who is NTA on paper? It's a society.
Correct.
So here
Correct.
it's essential to ensure that we make this NTA a statutory body, a proper statute is made, and
Hmm. Hmm.
we uh, make law on that. How who is the appointment, then the members, the chairperson, and everything, and then we go ahead. That is, I think, should be on
Correct.
priority. In fact, it is this entire demand has been from doctors for many years now, due to the
Hmm.
constant paper leaks which are happening. We see
Correct.
doctors also going in the Supreme Court filing petitions to convert this, but rather it's a
Hmm.
government's responsibility. The Probably the Supreme Court may not be able to uh, do anything in this matter, because this is a
Hmm.
administrative function which is their choice, which we have taken to make
Hmm.
NTA as a society and not a statutory body which is governed by the a statute. So I
Hmm.
believe the parliament right now, who is in session, which is in session, should take this
Hmm.
responsibility. Both the government and opposition should come together and make this, because it's not about who we are supporting. Are we with any political party? Are we supporting the protest or not? But I think, moreover, it is
Hmm.
about the political. It's more about the political accountability, yes. But moreover, above all, it is more about the systemic accountability, the education systemic accountability, which ought to be there. In fact, couple of
Correct.
more pointers which are surfacing in my mind, which maybe we may cover it later on, where how systemic faults our education system is having currently, and
Hmm.
how it is destroying the education altogether. And it is nowadays education has become a mockery, where, say, for example, our teachers are being engaged in a lot of clerical works, lot of administrative works, and
Hmm.
there is no focus on the teachers' research, the development, student interaction, the way of teaching. It's all getting mechanical these days. So, with that things in mind, how are we going to create a future ready generation who is
Hmm.
having not only knowledge, because information is available, and in the era of chat GPT, Claude, Gemini, and AI, information is very much available. But we want conscious people, and that is
Hmm.
only possible from a teacher when a teacher
Correct.
teaches properly. But now, if a teacher is just put in a lot of clerical works, which is a fact, I mean, in any university, if you go, you will just find teachers just burdened with a lot of clerical work, admin work, file work, and then they get very seldom time to teach. It is not their mistake. It is a mistake of the administration of the university. And again, I will say not only the administration of the university, again, a systemic problem that
Hmm.
we should have a clerk to do a clerk work, we should have a admin to do a
Correct.
admin work, and a teacher to a teacher's work. It is very simple. So, if, for example, if someone is managing a hostel, it should be managed by a proper hostel warden and not by a
Correct.
teacher, because we are wasting that
Exactly.
person's precious time of research.
Hmm.
So again, I think this we surface to another systemic change in this system, but
Hmm.
there are many such problems which are actually happening. One very
Hmm.
important point which also I would like to highlight it that this web the official government website says that it will be a self-sustaining institution. So
Hmm.
the first time grant will be given of around 25 crore, and then
Hmm.
they will be self-sustaining on the registration fees and all. I think this is very
Hmm.
important point which I'm going to highlight, that the registration fees of the exams are getting higher and higher nowadays, and which is in
Hmm.
fact detrimental for
Correct.
say people coming from poor background, people coming from rural background.
Hmm.
There are exams which are having 4,000, 5,000 fees. There are exams which are having 3,000 registration fees. And then the question is, after doing all these things, what kind of facilities are we getting? What kind of exam centers are we getting? What kind of accountability are we getting? So
Hmm.
again, this is a very systemic problem, that we are appearing for a government exam. We are up, and we are also appearing for a which is a government seat, a college, which is a government college. So why
Hmm.
should we pay such a hefty amount of registration? Is it just that because it is said that it is a self-sustaining organization, that's why they will sustain on the registration fees of the students? Because you imagine 25 lakhs, 22 lakh students participating, and then they giving that registration fee. You can do the calculation how much it can be. But then this is detrimental. I mean, having hefty fees is very much detrimental. We, coming from a law background, also we ourselves know that, say, the CLAT exam, we
Correct.
have. I believe the fees are how much now? How much did you
Like
pay in
three,
your
four,
years?
three, four, three, 4,000. Just
Around that much.
registration fees for a class.
Correct. Now you imagine this becomes such a entry level barrier only for a person,
Hmm.
say, coming from Wardha or Gadchiroli, or say other Marathwada areas, which are, say, relatively less developed. What about those students? So the point is, why don't we have very common minimal registration fees, which are very
Correct.
minimal? Because it is
Hmm.
government. We are going for a government college. We want to a government college, and and we are giving a exam. So again, this systemic thing will be solved by the making it a statutory body.
Hmm.
So I believe these are some pointers, and unfortunately, what has happened is that the entire debate of this NEET paper leak has gone into a very toss where people are just focusing on Mr. Pradhan's resignation. But it is not that case. I mean, let's focus on the reforms in the education system, which are very essential. The reforms
Hmm.
in the exam conducting system, the reforms in the entire systemic things which are essential.
Hmm.
So I believe these are some essential points to be taken into account.
Correct. Also, finally, what message would you like to give to millions of students preparing for competitive exams across the country?
I would just say that we should prepare our best and keep ourselves motivated always, and always fight for our rights. I believe this is something very important. At times, these exam conducting agencies, due to their procedural things, they just do a lot of things and make us frustrated and irritated while filling the form and all these things. So again, have patience in doing that,
Hmm.
and believe in the constitution, that your constitution will always protect you. I believe that is very important, and prepare well. I believe that is how we must go ahead. But having trust is something very important. So the student should never
Correct.
lose trust in a system. So because this world is running on trust. So if there is a trust
Hmm.
deficit, there will be a problem. So we see right now on the roads what we see, the protest. It is all the trust deficit right now which is happening, and
Correct.
students are coming out with their frustrations. It's a frustration. Students are coming out. So
Hmm.
that trust deficit is have been created, and that the government needs to solve it. Here, right now, the only one point the government should do is to properly form a statute where NTA should be constituted as a body, proper role, function, mechanism, penalization action which they can take. All these things should be properly mentioned. What will be the tenure of the members of the NTA, the chairperson, the accountability of the chairperson, accountability of the members. Then unnecessary not to depend upon third party. Can we have our own mechanism where we don't rely on third parties? So I think these things should be taken into
Hmm.
account, I believe.
Maybe an NTA Act can do.
Right.
So, Mr. Mainkar, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights with us. This discussion reminds us that the conversation shouldn't end with a single controversy or single resignation. It should lead us to ask a bigger question, that how do we build an examination system that students can trust, right? To our audience, we hope today's conversation gave you a fresh perspective on an issue that affects millions of students and millions of families across the country. If you found this discussion meaningful, do share it with others and keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Thank you.